We started off here, this place, just basically we bought the place, had no intention to, like, you know, doing anything big and grandiose or anything like that, but we just started doing vegetables and tried to grow everything we could grow to eat. Kind of basically the way we grew up. My wife and I both grew up on farms, and back in the day there, you didn't have specialized farms very much like you see today. Now you'll see people with thousands of acres and it's all row crop, or you'll see somebody that's got, you know, huge buildings full of pigs or turkeys or whatever. And when I was growing up, my wife too, she grew up on a farm as well. And basically, you know, Dad supported our family on 200 acres, and that was livestock and crops and gardening. We did some truck farming, he called it, basically growing vegetables for a roadside stand. And that's just the way we grew up. We put up our own chickens, we grew our own chickens, we did our own vegetables, we put it up, we canned it, and that kind of stuff was pretty much the way all of us lived back then. And it's going to come to the point where those of us who want to stay outside of the control of the globalists are going to have to live that way again. Pardon me for saying so. I hope that doesn't ring up, you know, pull up any warning buzzers or anything for the platform here or whatever. But it's just, and even if I'm wrong, even if it doesn't happen, these are skills that we just need to know. And I can't tell you everything I know in a few videos, but we're just going to start gradually bringing out some things as God brings them to my mind, and show you what we're doing. Anyway, all that being said, we started out here basically just growing grass. There's 2.5 acres of grass here to mow, and I put a bunch of it into vegetables. We sold some of that at farmers market. Didn't make a lot of money, but it helped out now and then. And anyway, that's what we've been doing, is growing our veggies. Well, over the years, I was a preacher for about 35 years, something like that. And I didn't get to go do a lot of the exercise and keep active like I used to, like I wanted to. And like a lot of us, when we get sedentary, I sit behind a desk and put on a lot of weight. So anyway, here about 2 months ago now, I decided, you know what, this is enough. And I had been reading a little bit about the carnivore diet, and I said, I'm going to do that. And I got on the carnivore diet. My wife did too. And in the space of 3 weeks, I lost about 20 pounds. And my wife lost, I believe, 22 pounds. And we've slowed down now. We've started adding a few things back into the diet that, you know, low carb veggie here and there, and so maybe a little bit of sauce of some sort, you know, and things like that. But we're still dropping weight. I'm down now to the lowest I've been in many years. Total loss so far for me is 27 pounds. And I'm not sure where my wife's at. She won't tell me. Anyway, so we said, you know what, this carnivore diet is working. We feel better. I feel better than I ever have. She feels good. Inflammation in my joints. I've had arthritis really bad in my hips for years now. I guess it's going on decades. And I can do stuff I haven't done in many, many years. And so we're looking at this and we're going, you know, this needs to be a long-term thing, I believe. And so that's what we're shooting at. And I got to looking at the garden out there. It's all, last couple of years I've been working on trying to get everything changed over to raised boxes. And I've been doing, you know, a lot of, if you look at my old videos, I've been doing raised boxes with straw bale garden inside of them. And that's worked out really well. And I'm pleased with that. And I enjoy doing it. But I said, you know, that takes a lot of time and a lot of money. And I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we need to kind of change part of this over to a carnivore garden, so to speak. So anyway, that being said, my plan is to still go ahead and raise some vegetables. I may grow some to sell or to give away. I've discovered that when I make my homemade sauce, I love ketchup on everything. Well, ketchup's got a lot of sugar in it, a lot of carbohydrates. But I discovered that when I make my own salsa, I used, my own fresh tomatoes and green peppers, jalapeno peppers, onions, and cilantro. And I don't put any sugar in it, anything like that. And it comes out much lower carbs than ketchup, and it's pretty doggone good. So I'm probably going to still raise some tomatoes and buku peppers, because peppers are low in carbohydrates. They're not carbohydrate free by any means, but they're low. And I'm going to raise as many onions as I can, and just some stuff like that we can eat. Now, no, that stuff's not carnivore. And some of you hardcore carnivore people out there I can just hear you screaming at me through the computer screen. But yes, it's not actually carnivore. But you know what? We went on many years ago. We did the Atkins diet for a while, and I lost over 40 pounds at that time. My wife lost almost that much, and then we eventually, after 30 or 40 years, gained it all back slowly. But anyway, bottom line for that is you can eat some plants if they don't affect your health. Now, the unique part about the carnivore diet is you're basically eating nothing but meat, eggs, and cheese, dairy, not including milk, because milk's got a lot of carbs in it, a lot of sugar in it. But you can have cream and sour cream and full-fat cottage cheese and some of that stuff to go along with it. Cream cheese, sour cream. But anyway, basically, with carnivore, you're looking at anything that came from an animal is the basic rule. Well, what I'm talking about didn't come from an animal, obviously, but the thing is, you can start out with your carnivore diet as a strict carnivore, and what you'll find is even if you're not in it to lose weight, the fact that you're not getting plants anymore, plant-based stuff, you're not getting any of the processed stuff anymore, that's where all the inflammation comes from. That's what causes your plaque in your arteries. Look up Dr. Ken Berry on some of his videos, and some other doctors as well on YouTube here. See what they have to say about it. So anyway, basically what I'm saying is we're continuing to lose weight even though we've added some stuff back in, but these are things that our bodies are not allergic to. Now, if I was to start adding in a whole bunch of wheat flour and sugar, my joints would probably act up again. I'm not doing that, okay? But I am going to raise I'm going to raise some vegetables, and I'll probably grow a chicken garden. By that I mean just, some greens and stuff that the chickens like. I've got a big area down there that used to be my market garden, and I'll probably sow that with some oats, rye, field peas, things like that I can turn the chickens into and help with the feed costs, and they'll be happy as clams. But anyway, we did all this, and about a week after we started the diet, I went to get eggs at the grocery store, and they're like $5 a dozen, and they only had a few, and I was like, man, if that's what I got to pay, it's what I got to pay. But I don't want to be, if that's one of my main sources of food, I don't want to be running out, So I went ahead and went to the farm store, and this was the end of September, and lo and behold, they had a fall order of chicks in. So anyway, we got us some little baby chicks, and I should have made a video on it then, but I didn't. Well, I brought them home and I put them in a dog kennel, and first, of course, they outgrew that, so I had to throw together something else. So I'm going to take you in right now. I'm going to show you my baby chickies and show you what I got them in, okay? Hang on. Alrighty, here's the little box that I built them. I just used scraps and leftovers. This is some old paneling that I had that had never been used, and I wanted to put like 1/4-inch plywood on it or something like that would be a little more weather resistant. This stuff will just come apart if I get it out in the rain. But anyway, I built this. They've got, as you can see, got some vents here because ventilation is really important for chickens. And I built it so that got holes in it there. I can just slide that door shut and close off the ventilation. where I can open it all up. I can take the door clear out. And I got the same thing here. I got to just slide in here and go right on across. Cover up as many holes as you want to. It's a very simple structure. You got a sliding door on both ends. Or again, there's my baby chickies. Well, they're not quite babies anymore. They're about 8 weeks old now. I keep telling my wife I'm going to come out here one of these days and find eggs. But this is actually too small a space for them to be in right now, for them to be comfortable. Technically, it's big enough. I just don't like it being that tight. But what I'm planning to do to give them some more running room, I got this on both ends, and then I got a door down here where I can clean out the that goes all the way across, clean out their bedding and stuff. And then back around here, same thing on the other side, same thing on the other end. I just got a blanket over the top to help insulate it a little bit. Reason we got them this way, did it this way, is because right after we got them, it started turning cold, and they were just baby chickies at the time, still in fuzz. And I said, man, they can't stand being outside in the cold as baby chickies, so I put them in here, and they're in my garage, which is not a good plan, but I've been trying to rack. We're don't have a lot of funding for this, so I've been trying to rack my brain about what can I do to get this outside now. Well, the cold weather is just starting because it's like the end of November here, and it's just going to get started getting cold now. So I don't want to. They're not acclimated to it now. If they were acclimated to it, I could put them outside in a just a unheated, open, partial old barn or something, and they'd be fine. But they're not. They're not used to it. They're used to being toasty warm. I got a light on in there, not because I need heat, but because if I turn the light off, they think it's nighttime, and they don't want to do anything but sit all day. So I got my feeder and my waterer hung from a chain in the ceiling, and I got my heat lamp hung from a chain from the ceiling also. Yeah, these are my pets. Come here, pets. Come here. Now these are all hens. The day I bought my chickens. Okay, like I was saying, the day I bought these down there, they were all out of roosters. I got a dozen chicks here. 6 of them, I got buff Orpingtons, because I knew we'd had them before. I knew they were good to deal with, to work with, good-natured, good setters. And my intention is to have eggs, of course, but my intention is to also have dual-purpose birds that we can also raise chicks for meat. And so, of course, I need a rooster. Well, I went back the following day, and I didn't see any roosters. I just had kind of spaced that out. When I went back to look for a rooster, I still didn't have any roosters, and I still wasn't sure in my mind what I was going to do yet. And I saw a batch of them there that they said, they called them cinnamon queens. Well, I bought 6 of them, not knowing what I was getting. I thought, well, I can always use some more egg layers. I don't have to have a rooster to get them. I'll get a rooster later. Well, I got home and got to studying up on it, and I discovered that, bad on me, the cinnamon queens are hybrids, so they're not going to be really good for breeding, but they are supposed to be really good egg layers. So anyway, that's where we're at. We got 6 of each right now. Didn't lose any of them, and my plan is to come out here, and I've got an old. Actually, it's one of those portable garage frames down there. We had chickens when we first moved here, and there's an old rotten shed down there. We put them in for a hen house, and then I set this framework outside of it to use for a pen. And so when that's drive posts and everything, well, I put some wire around it, and that was our pen. Well, now it needs to be moved, and I'm planning on bringing it up here closer to the house and setting it up with 2x4s under it, and make it kind of like a movable, like a big tractor. It's 10 by 20, but I'm going to I learned this, I got the idea for this. I thought about it before, but I'd kicked it around. I couldn't quite decide what I wanted to do. Well, Curtis Stone on His site, new site now is called Off the Grid with Curtis Stone, I believe. He'd set up a situation. He's in Canada, so I know it's colder there than it is here in northern Missouri. Anyway, I'm going to just put a row of wire around the bottom to keep predators off, and then I'm going to cover the whole thing with plastic, just like my old greenhouse used to be. Basically make a greenhouse out there for the chickens. And so I'll keep you informed as that goes along. I'll try to get videos of it and show you how we're doing it, and maybe tell you, get some more details about why we're doing it that way. But anyhow, basically the main idea of this video is just to let you know that we're kind of switching over. The old homestead here is kind of becoming a carnivore homestead, more or less. And I'll just be checking back in with you once in a while on stuff like that and let you know how things are going. So, hey, hit like, hit subscribe so that YouTube knows that you like what I'm doing here, and put some comments in below. And we'll be seeing you later, okay? God bless you. God loves you. And have a good day. Bye.